Good morning. Welcome to the midweek edition of your favorite program on television, Inside Nigeria. My name is Winifred Webo, and it's my pleasure to host you on this first segment of the show where we review front page headline stories. And of course, as usual on the program, we like to flag up with Nigeria's most influential newspaper, Leadership. Let's have Leadership on the screen and see what it's saying this Wednesday, October 11, 2023. Leadership says, amid scarcity, liter of petrol sells for 700 naira, 650 naira in Sokoto, Gombe orders. Amid scarcity, liter of petrol sells for 700 naira, 650 in Sokoto, Gombe orders. Riders say, marketers blame high cost of diesel for increase. Queues resurface in Abuja as confusion trails return of subsidy. Nigeria imports 23 billion liters of petrol in 1 year. I'll take that leading story once again. And Miss Scarcity, liter of petrol sells for 700 naira, 650 naira in Sokoto, Gombe orders. Marketers blame high cost of diesel for increase. Queues resurface in Abuja as confusion trails return of subsidy in quotes. Nigeria imports 23 billion liters of petrol in 1 year. And beside that, we have 50% of teachers in northern Nigeria not qualified. 50% of teachers in northern Nigeria not qualified. Bayelsa governorship, severe fights appeal against disqualification. Liberia decides, NEC releases provisional results today. Flood kills 603 Nigerians, displaces 1.3 million. Story continues on page 7 of the paper. And of course, above that, we have concerns as reps screen NDDC board nominees afresh. Concerns as reps screen NDDC board nominees afresh. And above that, we have business story. Low oil output forces IMF to revise Nigeria's growth. Low oil output forces IMF to revise Nigeria's growth. And with that, we move over to the page 3 of the paper where we have our stand. Our stand today is on Morocco, Libya disasters, lessons for Nigeria. Find out what the lessons are as you log on to the website of Leadership to read our stand. And from our stand, we go over to the back page of the paper where we have Wednesday column with Aisha Osori. And of course, she's writing on reflections on education. Reflections on education. Just before we go, let's see what Ghana Must Go is saying. Ghana Must Go says Wike seeks collaboration with EU to strengthen FCT economy. News. And of course, guess what Ghana Must Go replied? By sending thousands abroad to work. It's funny, isn't it? Well, for more on this continuation of headline stories, log on to the website of Leadership, www.leadership.ng. From Leadership, we have The Guardian next on our menu. The Guardian has different story altogether, and leading stories on federal government's bid for concrete roads to spike cap as amid 10 trillion naira owed contractors. Federal government's bid for concrete roads to spike cap as amid 10 trillion naira owed contractors. Of course, as usual on The Guardian, they have graphic illustration for the headline story. We move beneath that where we have theft, vandalism undermine gas production as 27 years completion. Theft, vandalism undermine gas production as 27 years completion. US declares Bazoum's ousting a coup, suspends military aid training to Niger. US declares Bazoum's ousting a coup, suspends military aid training to Niger. Over 3,000 Nigerians on death row amid calls to abolish capital punishment. Israel Palestinian envoys defend positions as NCPC suspends Christian pilgrimage. Court remands siblings for clubbing uncle to death. The story is on page 8 of The Guardian. Court remands siblings for clubbing uncle to death. Senate moves to tackle alleged oil theft by security forces, military groups. Senate moves to tackle alleged oil theft by security forces, military groups. The story continues on page 3 on the paper. And for more on these inside stories and of course the editorial and back page, log on to the website of The Guardian, www.guardian.ng. And from the Guardian, we have similar story also on the cover of Daily Sun. Daily Sun leads with Tinubu backs Umahi over war against contractors. Tinubu backs Umahi over war against contractors. Minister threatens to drag erring contractors to ICPC, EFCC. And of course, still on the issue of road, because Umahi, the works minister, has already said that roads now should be constructed on concrete, not on the usual asphalt. Tinubu backs Umahi over war against contractors. Minister threatens to drag erring contractors to ICPC, EFCC. And just above that, beneath the masthead, we have Senate mandates 5 committees to investigate crude oil theft in Niger Delta. Senate mandates 5 committees to investigate crude oil theft in Niger Delta. And we go beyond that. We have a sub-leading story still on that Daily Sun cover. Kidnapper on the rampage in Nasarawa, Kogi. Kidnapper on the rampage in Nasarawa, Kogi. Abduct varsity students, Islamic cleric orders. Zamfara, Damawa, Cross River, Ogun, top cholera cases list. And just on the side, we have anguish as few queues increase in Abuja. We are addressing it, federal government marketers. Buhari, 7 governors, emirs, others attend Katsina Security Watch call launch. Buhari, 7 governors, emirs, others attend Katsina Security Watch call launch. 737,308 pass with 5 credits in Maths English as NECO releases results. 737,308 pass with 5 credits in Maths English as NECO releases results. Exam body blacklist 93 schools, 52 supervisors for malpractices. What Tinubu must do to fix Nigeria, Pastor Ashimolowo plans multi-million naira compassion crusade in Ikorodu. 5.4 million voters to elect Kogi, Imo, Bayelsa governors. Tinubu governors, Ganduje ministers flag off Ozodima's campaign today. Subsidy, federal government will soon release 6-month report of revenue, says ROMAFC. For more on these headline stories on Daily Sun today, October 11, 2023, inside stories and of course the editorial and back page, log on to the website of Daily Sun, www.sunnynewsonline.com. From Daily Sun, we move over to Vanguard. Vanguard is next on our menu. Vanguard leads with the story Israel-Hamas war. Federal government hosts pilgrimage as Lagos leaves 310 from Jerusalem. Israel-Hamas war. Federal government hosts pilgrimage as Lagos leaves 310 from Jerusalem. Israel pounds Gaza despite threats to kill hostages. Death toll exceeds 1,900 as oil prices surge. Conflict taking horrendous toll on children, UNICEF. I'll take that leading story once again on Vanguard today, Wednesday, October 11, 2023. Israel-Hamas war. Federal government hosts pilgrimage as Lagos leaves 310 from Jerusalem. Israel pounds Gaza despite threats to kill hostages. Death toll exceeds 1,100 as oil prices surge. Conflict taking horrendous toll on children, UNICEF. Insecurity will help Nigeria overcome banditry, kidnapping, Boko Haram, EU. Insecurity will help Nigeria overcome banditry, kidnapping, Boko Haram, EU. Reps to investigate use of foreign currency as legal tender in Nigeria. NECA to federal government begin plans for minimum wage review. Bad roads, federal government gives all contractors 14-day ultimatum. Why court disqualified Bayelsa APC candidate Silva? We move above the masthead of Vanguard where we have IMF raises alarm over rising inflation. Clark decries deplorable state of roads in South. Federal government to cut number of taxes to 9. General jailed 7 years by Army Court Martial. An article says, I didn't forge my certificate. And of course, with that, we end the headline review of Vanguard newspaper this Wednesday. For more on that, log on to the website of Vanguard newspapers, www.vanguardngr.com. From Vanguard, Blueprint is next on our menu. Blueprint leads with a story on Senate. It says Senate probes 2.3 trillion naira loss to oil theft in 2023. Senate proves 2.3 trillion naira loss to oil theft in 2023. Fingers security forces, military groups, host communities, orders. Alleges use of sophisticated methods by bunkers collaborators. Raises the alarm over food security. The story continues on page 5 and page 6 of Blueprint. And just underneath that, we have APC Silva fight back as court stops Guba candidate from Bayelsa poll. Ex-minister remains our candidate, says party. 5.4 million to vote in Bayelsa Imo Kogi polls, INEC. Police confirm kidnap of 4 Nasarawa varsity students. Tinubu endorsed road construction with concrete, says Umahi. More millionaires to emerge in UBA Super Savers draw. And with that, we move just above the headline story. I will work closely with NBC to promote media freedom, Malagi. 61.60% make English mathematics as ENCO releases SSCE results. IMF revises Nigeria's economic growth downwards over weak oil gas. Army General backed 7-year imprisonment for stealing $2.1 million, 1.65 billion naira. Stories on page 8 of Blueprint. And of course, with that, we've end review of Blueprint. For more on that, log on to the website of Blueprint, www.blueprint.ng. From Blueprint, this day is next on our menu. This day says IMF, Tinubu's policies paving way for inclusive growth. IMF, Tinubu's policies paving way for inclusive growth. Revises Nigeria's growth prospects downwards to 2.9%. ADUN, with global rise in debt service costs, Nigeria focused on encouraging domestic foreign investments. Israeli ambassador insists Hamas must be wiped out. The story is on page 35 of this day. And of course, we have IAPC. Sylvia remains our Bayelsa Guba candidate. Will step up campaign instead, Ganduje boasts. Ex-governor appeals sack, asks court to state judgment execution. Our state doesn't deserve serial deceiver, says Diri. And above that, we have Niger Delta rose in deplorable condition. Clark tells Tinubu. The story is on page 33 of the paper. And just above the masthead of this day, we have CJN to judges. Our work shall testify for us when we are gone. The story is on page 34 of this day. Senate, Nigeria lost 2.3 trillion naira to oil thefts this year. Asks panels to probe security agencies. Moves to transfer social investment program to presidency. Worries insecurity may lead to acute food crisis. Seeks adequate military presence in North. And for more on that, the story continues on page 10 of this day. And for inside stories, editorial back page, log on to the website of This Day newspaper, www.thisdaylive.com. From this day, we move over to the last paper on our menu this Wednesday, October 11, 2023. And that is The Punch. Let's see what The Punch is punching with this Wednesday. The Punch says, Forex crisis, Naira plunges to 1,025 per dollar. Job losses, factory shuts down loom. Forex crisis, Naira plunges to 1,025 per dollar. Job losses, factory shuts down loom. And the writer on that story says, Forex crisis hinders raw materials procurement, causes financial problem, NECA. SMEs decry impending shutdown, rest probe airlines, schools demanding dollars. We have pictures of Katsina state government which launched security apparatus, patrol vans, motorcycles yesterday. And of course, the leading story for that story, picture is Katsina launches security corps, deploys 770 patrol vans motorcycles. Katsina launches security corps, deploys 770 patrol vans, motorcycles. NCPC suspends pilgrimage to Israel, Lagos contingent returns. Army General jailed 7 years, ordered to refund 3.7 billion naira. NECO indicts 93 schools for cheating, blacklist 52 supervisors. And just above the masthead of the Punch, we have Senate condemns 2.3 trillion naira oil theft, probes security agents. Inflation to slow Nigeria's growth to 2.9%, says IMF. Flood kills 45, displaces 171,545 persons in 13 states, NEMA. This brings to end the Punch review, newspaper review today, Wednesday, October 11, and ultimately the end of today's Inside Nigeria, your breakfast show on television. My name is Winifred Gwebo. Fortunately, we don't have a guest in the studio, in the house, to review some of these headline stories. So until we come your way again, same time, same station tomorrow, here's wishing you a beautiful day. See you then. Bye.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.